And rolling right along, blessed to be a part of your day. Coming up, more of your phone calls. First, to Washington, D.C., David Bozell joins us from foramerica.org. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
Trying to figure out whose side God is on, with Maxine Waters on one side and President Trump on the other. I figured you would be our spiritual advisor this morning.
Oh, God. You have the wrong Bozell. You have to ask my uncle. He's a priest in France. I would defer to him. I think God's on all of our sides.
Well, thanks.
I hope at some level. Some level.
So as someone who, again, has studied the media, the culture for quite some time, written, appeared on radio and TV, are we at where are we at a point of American media coverage when we have the left openly advocating through the comments of Maxine Waters to harass people of faith, to harass people they politically disagree with, and then the idea that dealing with these folks coming in illegally, somehow the Republicans, the Department of Homeland Security, should be compared to the Nazis.
Right. And there's no condemnation from barely anyone. In fact, Nancy Pelosi had more negative things to say about Maxine Waters than Paul Ryan did. I mean, I don't think Paul Ryan said a word about his colleagues, especially since he witnessed firsthand Steve Scalise getting shot a year earlier. And so you don't even have a tremendous amount of Republican pushback. Well, I'm not so sure that we should be expecting media to push back. Once again, you have a cultural flashpoint where it's the president pushing back. And Republicans, at least elected officials anyways, the elected congressmen, men and women, have decided to take a path. You know, they don't want to be involved. It's too hot. It's too controversial. So very disappointing, at least from my vantage point, to see the amount of silence from Republican leaders, though not surprising. And then once again, it's only really the president defending himself, defending his team, defending his family. So there's a lot of criticism of the press, and it's warranted. But they look around the landscape and their pals within Capitol Hill, and they don't see a lot of condemnation from folks on Capitol Hill. So they're not going to feel a tremendous amount of pressure to step out there and condemn Maxine Waters as well. So plus you've got, cynically the ratings, gambit. This is great ratings for them. So, they're not going to want to squash it.
Well, and, again, how many truth tellers do we have to have going to the border and showing these things, and the children this, and on some of the broadcasts they're calling this internment camps.
Yeah.
Baby
Way
internment camps. Yeah.
I mean, ridiculously over the top. Why the press has a lower approval rating than Congress, if you can believe it. It's that kind of over the top hyperbole that folks have just decided that they're just going to stiff arm. It's why you get chance of CNN sucks in prime time. That's why you have Jim Acosta being just berated by Trump rally goers, which is kind of funny to watch, as he just got booed trying to do a live feed from I guess it was South Carolina last night. So there's just no love lost anymore between half the country and most of the press. And and by most, I mean all but one of the networks, the cable networks. There's just no love lost anymore. And that's why folks tend to side despite all the negative coverage. And this has been consistent, Kevin. It's not just this issue. a lot of issues, but despite all the overwhelming amount of negative coverage against the president on this issue of parent-child separation, he still comes out, when polled, the American people still side with him and the rule of law. And so that's a testament, I think, to, first and foremost, his ability to go over and through the press with his social media operations. It's a testament to that strategy. It's working. But it's also obviously a byproduct of the press being wrong and the press day after day after day being critical of the president and wanting and going to some really low depths with regards to personal character assassination. And the country has just said the heck with it. We know what you're about. We know what your agenda is, media, and so we're going to tune you out. And hence his approval numbers go up.
David Moselle joining us for America.org. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. What do you make of what happened to Sarah Sanders? I mean, you're a man of the world. Have you ever been to this place in Western Virginia?
I've not been. I know Lexington, but I've never been to the Red Hen. It's just a dumb decision. It's just look. It got them quite a bit of attention. So I suppose any press is good press if you're a restaurant, and they'll probably have a bunch of government, liberal sycophants, ride down to Lexington, Virginia, and go have dinner there in a show of solidarity. But just a really dumb call on the restaurant's part, long term. Real big babies. I just don't know any other way to characterize it, but Sarah and her family just walk in and want to have a nice meal, decent meal, in a beautiful part of the Commonwealth, and they reject it and this idea that, well, because they're public servants, we can do it. So next time people want Christian bakers to be baking cakes, try using that excuse. I'm glad that some of this hypocrisy on the left has been sort of flushed out. They've gotten themselves into such a lather that they're willing to go against everything that they've been arguing for the better part of, basically, since the beginning of the Obama administration. And if you're not willing to listen to who you're protesting against, then how do you know what it is that you're protesting against? And I think some of this stuff has been lost on the left because they're just bloodthirsty, and they just cannot believe that there are people not like them that somehow elected Donald Trump. It's an alternative reality for a lot of folks, and apparently these restaurant owners, they just do not want to come to grips with the reality that Donald Trump won.
Look, and if the right can accept Obama, certainly the left should accept Trump. I mean, we have Stephen Miller with the wanted poster, guilty of kidnapping 2,500 children, crimes against humanity, last seen, and they give his address. They've given out his cell phone number, reward defeating fascism and the Trump regime. This is crazy stuff.
I mean, Pam Bondi down in Florida gets harassed trying to see a movie. Their director of Homeland Security gets harassed trying to go out to dinner. You've got the Sarah situation. I mean, Stephen Miller can't go out anywhere. I'm actually, Jared Kushner and Ivanka were out at a restaurant a couple weeks ago and somehow stumbled onto the Washington Capitals, and they seem to have a good time. So unless I suppose the only exception is if you run into the Stanley Cup champions, if you're a member of the administration, you're just not going to have a good time. You're not going to be able to enjoy yourself on a weekend. But just in all seriousness, Kevin, I think someone's going to get severely hurt. And beyond, I mean, someone's going to get killed out there. And Steve Scalise came within a whisker of it happening to him. So it's not hyperbole on my part to suggest that. The more the left, the press included, and folks like Maxine Waters get all this attention, start clamoring and keep clamoring for violence, and and let's just decode it. I mean, that's exactly, it's basically what she's clamoring for. The closer we get to somebody taking a cheap shot, and I just think it's going to happen in one of these days. And I don't blame this administration from top to bottom. You can get concealed carry permits in Washington, D.C., and I bet you my bottom dollar, most of them are applying as we speak.
David Boesel, anything else we should be looking out for this week? It's kind of a downer here we've been yapping about.
It is. Well, look, you could tell from the president's point of view that, as Jonathan Swan in Axios said today, calling Congress hopelessly dysfunctional. Congress has proven yet again they can't do anything big. They're not going to get this immigration thing across the finish line. Now, we can lay blame across the board. I don't think the president has fought properly for this piece of legislation and has made some strategic errors. But I just don't think you're going to get a lot of – Congress has proven time and again they can't do anything big. So until your representatives decide that, they're going to need to make their world smaller and start playing a little small ball with some of these activities, some of these agenda priorities of the president's, it's going to be a struggle to get the president's domestic agenda across the finish line. And it's half the reason why I think he's really on the march about tariffs and foreign affairs, because he just doesn't see his domestic agenda getting done. It's going to take all of us pressuring our membership to start to our members of Congress to stop, with this once every 4 months monumental piece of legislation that they've proven time and again they can't get done. So that's going to be one of those things to watch in the next couple of months as we head to the midterms for sure.
David Boesel, stay out of trouble.
Yeah, man. You too, Kevin. Take it easy, and best of everyone in Boise.
All right. Have a great day, sir.
All right. Take it easy. All
right. Our great friend David Boesel. This just in, the Supreme Court on Tuesday dealt a major blow to California law requiring anti-abortion pregnancy centers to inform women about the publicly funded abortions and contraceptive services. The 5-4 ruling by Justice Clarence Thomas, with the court's conservatives in the majority, was aimed at the liberal state government seeking to notify pregnant women of their rights to an abortion, but it could have unintended consequences. Laws in more conservative states requiring women seeking abortions to view ultrasounds or learn about the growth of their fetus could now be at risk. California law forces licensed pregnancy centers to post notices about free or low-cost state programs that include abortion services. It also requires unlicensed centers to inform clients they are not medical facilities. Challengers called it a form of compelled speech. So there we have it. Much more next. We'll take your calls. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Back-to-back Scene Waters still trying to figure out whose side God is on.
On the side of what's right, on the side of what's honorable, on the side of understanding that if we can't protect the children, we can't protect anybody.
Right. It's too bad to say they're somebody else's kids. Tom in Nampa with Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Tom.
Well, good morning, Kevin. I thought I'd give you a call before I have to head out here to take care of some business back in California and go back down across the border into the militarized zone. But I was kind of curious. Yeah, right. La La Land. I'm sorry I'm going to miss this God Country gathering today. But what's this business about? You can have low back chairs but not high back chairs, and you can bring a water bottle, which you have to put the water in. But what's the reason behind that?
I guess it's security, and the low back is so that you're not bothering the person behind you, because some people will sit on bleachers, a lot of people will sit in the field.
Security, well, this isn't exactly going to be. This is Nampa. This is not Berkeley or Maxine Waters congressional district that you're holding this in. So I'm not too sure why. What's the purpose of a water bottle if you have to put some water in it?
Well, you can fill it up when you get there. Let me see. Boy, Tom, this is one you're getting me on. I don't know. I mean, at least you can bring in a water container, and you don't know what people are bringing in their water containers. Could be vodka. It could be something else.
It'd be a big turnout, so there's going to be an awful long line at the water fountain.
Now, this is from someone who's never been to one, Tom.
Pardon? Well, after all, Kevin, I've only been up here a little over a year, and
I'm with you.
so I plan on going to one. I'm really sorry I'm going to miss this.
Tonight is going to be great because it's going to be 83. It's really, it really tempts your dedication to God and country, or not your dedication, when it's, over 100. Then you melt.
Well, I'm going back to Reading, and it's 105 down here. 83, why, shoot, that's cool. Even 93 isn't bad. It's hotter than huts of hell down there in Reading. One last thing is this Red Hen restaurant in Virginia. I think it should. I agree with Trump. It ought to be painted. I think it ought to be blue and be renamed the Blue Goose. And I think that they should. There's a story about the little red hen. It's puts down the theory of.
Hold on, Tom. We
remember
got
that poem about the little red hen.
Hold on, we've got breaking news here. The Supreme Court has ruled the president's third travel ban is legal under the president's broad power to suspend entry of aliens. Oh, the libs are going to love this one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Oh, they're going to go crazy. But anyway, I think that red hen should be repainted blue and call it the Blue Goose. They should invite Maxine Waters to hold a rally there and give the Democrats the instructions on the culinary delights of cooking their own goose, because if you read today's Wall Street Journal editorial, you'll see that that's exactly what's happening the longer she talks. And that's why I said yesterday they ought to just let her keep flapping her gums, and I think we ought to keep replaying that. Her call to arms on that, harass people. Not that I'm for harassing, but it might just rally the troops here to show up at the polls like we did in 2016 and make sure that they don't take over.
Safe travels, Brother Tom.
Yeah, I'll be back in a few weeks. Meanwhile, I'll hold the fort, and I'll see what I can do to flush them out down there in California. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hopefully they don't follow you back here. Traffic and weather together, 827. Tea Party Bob joins us now at KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM.
Good morning, Mr. Miller. All ready for the big night?
Well, we're going to try and pace ourselves. God and country.
Wow. I can't believe you can't bring your own water. Unbelievable.
I can't believe everybody's negative. It's like negative. Is that what this is? Is just wake up with the curmudgeons in the morning?
I don't know. I don't wake up that way. I wake up with a smile
It's
on
a
my
free
face
show. It's 52 years, and we have to find. You and Tom have to find something wrong with it, man.
Hey, I just don't understand why you can't bring your own water, because I can't drink the water that they have there.
Well, what's in your water? What's in your water?
Yeah, exactly. What is in your water?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Hey, I'm still waiting for that text there, buddy.
Which one?
The phone number for Billy.
Billy.
Yeah, the doctor.
I'll do that today. I'll do that as soon as I get back from my walk.
Well, I'm glad we can fit in with your walk there, little buddy. What can we do for you today?
Not much. We're not going to solve this immigration problem until after the midterms, and I guess that's going to be best. Maybe the voters will have a different perspective. But I think we're going to see some substantial turnover from the blue to the red in the House and in the Senate, so we can get stronger majority. The Democrats have basically declared war on the president and trying to embarrass and harass him in any way they can. But I fear that they're just making fools of themselves. They don't want to try to solve the problem of immigration because it's not in their interest. When you have elected representatives like Waters ranting and raving about impeaching Trump and calling Democrats to harass administration officials in public places, we're sitting here and coming closer to the point of anarchy or a point of actual change. Tom's right about the Republican Party, as they have been the most totally passive about this these attacks on Trump and the administration and their families, it's hard to notice all of the large number of resignations from Republicans this year. If you do some checking, I think you're going to find out these are mostly minors on a payroll from K Street and have been pretending to be Republicans for most of their lives as elected representatives. What we need to do is to look at how many of them came into the office with very little money and are going out very wealthy. We're slowly seeing a change take place, and Trump started a revolution that eventually will give us an opportunity to elect strong majorities in both houses. I think we just have to be a little patient, a little bit longer.
I think you have to be patient.
Around. Well, you know me, I'm a very patient person, right?
Yep.
I deal with you every day. I must be patient.
Wow.
By the way, thanks for the wonderful little Facebook video.
Oh, you made the cut.
I thought it was terrific.
That's right. It was.
In fact, I posted it up on ours.
It was my wife, you, and Steve Yates, which says it all about who makes the cut in my life.
Holy mackerel! You have very few friends.
Thanks for reinforcing that. Appreciate it, there, Tea Party Bob.
Hey, I love you, brother. You just keep doing what you do, and I hope tonight goes real well.
We love you. Take care.
Stay out of trouble. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, you know, Facebook has this thing, hey, who are your friends? So, many pictures with me and Dorothy, my wife, Mrs. Miller. And then all of a sudden, there's a picture with Tea Party Bob and Steve Yates. So I linked them. I mean, hey, you're known by who you hang with. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Maggie. God and Country tonight. Hope to see you there. We are talking about whose side God is on since Maxine Waters invoked the name of our Lord when talking about this immigration issue. More of your phone calls. Max in Garden City, thank you for waiting. You're on KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller. Hello, Max.
Good morning. Maxine Waters. You never hear anything about her unless she's making some of her typically outlandish or incredibly ignorant statements. Isn't she the best argument for term limits you've ever seen?
I'm with you, brother.
See, you know, when I hear the name Maxine Waters, the words doddering, senile, ignorant, out of touch, these words just fall from the sky like pennies from heaven. If we want to keep our country, the first thing we need to remember is that she can get out there and tromp and stomp and blither and blather all she wants because the majority of Americans, even the people in California, aren't really listening. It's her shining moment. It's her few seconds in the sun before she sails off to the nursing home. Don't pay attention. It's like listening to Jim Carrey, for Pete's sake, and his little drawings of the president. Wow, a washed-up has-been actor, sort of comedian, sort of artist is getting attention? Now, people like Maxine Waters and Jim Carrey, just if you ignore them, they will go away, and there aren't enough snowflakes to give us any real trouble. As a caller said here, maybe 2 callers ago, we're in the beginning of a slow revolution. Mr. Donald John Trump is bringing us into a new era. And as long as we can put up with his idiotic tweets and some of the quirky things he does, the guy's doing the job. That's all that counts. Gee, do I sound like I'm the right winger? Oh, no. Help me, Kevin. Help me.
It's okay, brother. You've been Hannitized, so you're good.
Take care of yourself, and thanks for letting me rant.
Max, thanks for listening. You take care of yourself. All right, our brother Max there. Phone number is 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Let's go to Jim in Middleton with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
Not bad, and you?
Just right, sir. Anyway, Kevin, I wanted to jump in here. You know, as usual, a lot of us conservative folks and many Republicans, they're fighting the wrong fight, the wrong narrative. What we should be doing is asking why these people are breaking the law, why our politicians are not upholding the law, and not only why they're not upholding the law, Kevin, but why are they also breaking the law? Who's benefiting from all of this migration? Let's follow the money and see what's happening here and start exposing this. But we're always kind of like on the defensive trying to defend, well, we need to uphold the law and we need to do this and that and what have you. And we're on the ropes and we're not exposing who's benefiting from this, who's funding this, the Soros and company people, and what their main agenda is for doing this and so forth. Do you see my point here? We're kind of going in the wrong direction.
It's a very valid point, but, we're inundated with the media giving us the other side.
Well, that's where we come in, okay? Cooler heads need to prevail and start shining lights, Kevin, on exactly who's benefiting from this, how they're benefiting from it, and so forth. When you start exposing and you start lifting a few, peeling back the wrappers, and then you start seeing the people, the players underneath there, how they're benefiting from this and what have you, that's how you defeat this, okay? Just trying to defend, well, we're really not racist, and we're really not against immigration. Duh, none of us are. That's just a ridiculous statement that these people try to throw out there and get the other side to believe, and many of them do. So I'm just saying that's what needs to be done, and a little reporting and a little fact-finding on those issues would get a lot of people thinking the other way.
Appreciate it, Jim. Thank you. You have a great day.
I'll do it, Kevin. You too.
All right, our great friend Jim in Middleton. Let's go live to Washington, D.C., Capitol Hill. Jared Halpern joins us from Fox News Radio. And, Jared, the immigration debate continues.
It does, and I think there's still a big question as to when or if there's going to be a vote in the House. Remember this comprehensive sort of compromise consensus bill that Republican leadership has been working on was delayed twice last week. Then we were told they were going to have a vote this week. Then the president tweeted out, what's the point? And I still think it sounds like, listening to members that they're still well short of the votes that they need. So I guess the question for leadership is, do they put this on the floor even if it's pretty much assured it's going to fall short of the votes it needs? If they do, then, I guess it then allows them to – sometimes you see this happen where, they say, let's see what this gets and then we can move from here. Obviously, as we've talked about, the Senate is not working on any sort of comprehensive bill. They are working on legislation that is specific to the issue of family separations. There are some House proposals that are focused on that singular issue as well, but I think from the point of view of leadership, they would rather dispose of this comprehensive bill before moving on to what they would view as sort of a plan B, or I guess really plan C, since this consensus bill was described by Speaker Ryan as their plan B.
Right, and whether or not they believe they'll get credit for at least trying as opposed to keeping their powder dry.
Sure. That's part of it, too. Listen, this is a policy issue. It's an emotional issue, but there are politics at play. If you have an issue like this, where it could be a tough vote for some of your members in tough re-election fights, do you want to force them to vote if you know the result isn't going to be successful? That's got to be one of the considerations that House leadership hears about. Now for some of these members, absolutely, they want to have a vote. They want to have a vote on a bill that fully funds $25 billion of a border wall. They want to have a vote that provides a clear path to citizenship for Dreamers, for DACA recipients, for those kids living in this country illegally but were brought here at a very young age. For some members, those votes are harder for them to take, and so that's going to have to be a calculation in this as well.
Well, Jared, I'm sure between that and the recent Supreme Court decision on the travel ban, you'll be very busy today. And
a big First Amendment sort of abortion opinion today at the Supreme Court as well. So a busy day here in D.C., to be sure.
Seems like every day is busy for you.
It is. Although they'll be out next week, Congress at least will be for the 4th. So we'll see if it slows down at all.
Jared, enjoy the fireworks. Thank you, sir.
I always do. Thank you.
All right. Phone number is 580-5436, 580-KID. Repeating our breaking story, the Supreme Court ruled today in favor of President Trump versus Hawaii, the controversial case regarding the travel ban. The 5-4 decision penned by Chief Justice John Roberts, saying that they found the president's immigration restriction fell squarely within his authority to protect the nation. The court rejected claims that the ban was motivated by religious hostilities. Quote, the order is expressly premised on legitimate purposes, preventing entry of nationals who cannot be adequately vetted and inducing other nations to improve their practices. The Chief Justice wrote, the text says nothing about religion. Big victory for conservatives today, as Jared was talking about with the First Amendment and the abortion issue, and the travel ban. Joining us now, Pastor Mark Thornton, to talk about God and country tonight, then more of your phone calls. Pastor Thornton, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me this morning.
So here we are on 107.5 FM, 580 AM, talking about God and country. Why is it so special?
Well, it's special because it's one of those events that draws the community together. It doesn't matter where you live in the Treasure Valley or even outside of the Treasure Valley. People come together in unity, and I love that. Since there's so much division that we've got going on, anytime that you can get people together under one roof or in one amphitheater just to celebrate our country, to celebrate, what God is doing in the lives of people, that's an awesome opportunity, and I think that's what makes it unique.
Well, and usually it's just, not want to say just, but primarily musical acts. But tonight, a world-renowned expert, a true friend of yours and a true friend of Idaho joining us tonight.
Yeah, Nick Vujicic, he's excited about coming. He comes from his ministry, Life Without Limbs, and, his story, he was born with no limbs. He thought about committing suicide when he was 10 years old because kids were bullying him in school and picking on him. He didn't ever think that he was going to be able to amount to much, and God got a hold of him. He thought about his parents, and he turned his life around, and now he goes all over the world just doing motivational speaking, sharing the gospel. And, he's a great story and a great example about overcoming obstacles and overcoming odds and fulfilling your true purpose. And so the message of encouragement and inspiration that he brings, it's really second to none. You see his life played out on TV, on YouTube, on Oprah and CNN, and so it's just not something that, this guy's unique. He is unique because he's limbless, but he's not unique in the sense that if he can do it, he encourages everybody else. You can do it too, regardless of limitations.
Well, and he has a special affinity for the state of Idaho. Yeah,
he really does. We've got a high suicide rate, unfortunately, here in our state. We're the sixth highest suicide rate, ages 13 to 24, and so he loves going to the states, top 15 states with the highest suicide rate, just to try to be an encouragement. He's had great opportunities to go all over the world, but he comes back to the Treasure Valley. He loves us here, and so I love that I can call him up and say, Nick, we need you, and he'll come and share with us.
Mark, tell us a little bit about the program tonight. 52 years in the making. We've got the largest fireworks. We've got Unspoken. We've got Maddie Zom. You and David and so many others on the board have been instrumental in putting this together over a year in the making. For people listening, this is the first time they're hearing about God and Country. What will be your favorite part of tonight's event?
Well, my favorite part, obviously, will probably be Nick coming out to share. But again, we've got the Regulators, which is the 25th Army Band. They're coming out and they're doing some stuff. We've got an opportunity and a time that we'll celebrate those who have served our country. We'll celebrate some of our elected officials and just acknowledge who they are. The fireworks are going to be great. But again, the community, the fellowship, you get to see people that you haven't seen in a long time because they all come out and, you get to fellowship. There's food trucks and just the whole event, and that it covers everything from honoring our country and from honoring those who serve in our country, from bringing the churches together, bringing non-believers together. It's just a great time of fellowship. And, you don't get this often. When do you get 14,000 people out in an amphitheater to fellowship together? So that's really what encourages me.
Right, and that's just the people in the amphitheater, never mind the people at the Walmart parking lot or on the hill everywhere.
Yeah, and we're so excited that you guys are going to be doing the music for the fireworks. So even if they don't make it into the amphitheater or the arena, they're sitting across the freeway. They'll be able to tune in to KIDL and listen to the music and watch the fireworks. And so, yeah, it's going to be all over.
Well, again, Pastor Thornton, we appreciate your work. Finally, the importance of honoring God.
Yeah. So the one thing, you know, the scripture, and not because we're talking about God, but it says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and then all of these things will be added unto you. And there's people from, you know, different faiths and different denominations, but you know what? We're all part of the same family. So it doesn't really matter what church you go to on Sunday. Whenever there's a time to get together in unity, the Bible says that God blesses unity. And we're going to come together and we're going to sing. We're going to come together. We're going to worship. We're going to come together. We're going to hear an amazing word. And then we let God do what he wants to do. But I love that this is a God and country festival, and that it's 52 years that we've been doing this. And Idaho is one of the longest running God and country festivals in the nation. And so, you know, we want to keep this tradition because Idaho is special. I've lived here for a long time, and I'm not saying it just because I'm from here. Idaho is really a unique place. The Treasure Valley is really a unique place. And if we're going to be known for anything, you know, and this is me as a pastor, I want to be known for loving God and loving people and having a generous life. And so that's why, you know, this is a free event. We want to keep it free. It costs a lot of money, but, you know, we've got some great sponsors that have come on board and a lot of people who want to help make this thing happen and make it continue to grow. And so we're really looking forward for tonight. And I know that amazing things are going to take place. And so I hope everybody listening will come out, bring their family, bring their friends, and let's have a great time of fellowship, hear a great message, hear some great music, and watch some amazing fireworks.
Well, Pastor Thornton, Mark, we appreciate you, and we'll see you tonight, sir.
Thanks for having us. You guys have a great day. I'll see you tonight.
Okay, our great friend Pastor Thornton joining us. From Pastor Thornton to Pro-Life with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Pro-Life.
Yeah, you know, on the border crossing thing where people come to the border and they say, I want amnesty, I need an attorney, I'm in stress, you know, I need to get out of
right. There's
whatever.
a script.
Yeah, there is a script. But anyway, I guess it's a law, but of course it's a culture too that we allow those people to come in just because they come to our border crossing.
Right.
Now,
they recite the script, then they're not entering illegally. They're seeking amnesty.
Right. Now, there's a solution to this, and I've not heard it yet, but if in all of our consulates and embassies, and you can take like Tijuana.
Well, look at it. We've got a consulate across the street from us.
Well, it's a Mexican consulate, but right. I mean, U.S. consulates all around the world and embassies. They should be the places where, if you would need amnesty, you need to go to those places, not come to the border. And if you come to the border and ask for amnesty, you get turned away, and you say, no, you have to go to the consulate within your nation and ask for amnesty. And then if it's a real amnesty, they can even take you right in their door right then. But we've not done that, and it's caused this huge problem. So I'm saying, talk it up with your Congress people. That needs to be put in any of these laws that you can't come to the border and yell amnesty and get in. So you say, like, if you come to Tijuana, there'd be a consulate in Tijuana. You can't come to the border. You'd have to go to the U.S. Embassy in Tijuana and talk to them. And they'd have to approve that you have amnesty and how many people are with you that need amnesty. Because you can't just be come to the border and yell amnesty and get in here. So that's my solution.
Well, we appreciate you, brother.
All right. God bless you.
God bless you. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. All right. Victory for us. Iran, Libya, Somalia, Syria, Yemen, North Korea, and Venezuela. You're not coming in anymore. Supreme Court upholds the president's travel ban in a historic 5-4 ruling. It limits travel to America from 7 countries: Iran, Libya, Somalia, Syria, Yemen, North Korea, and Venezuela. Who said that elections don't matter, right? Traffic and weather together at KIDO Talk Radio. And I'm Kevin Miller here. Again, coming up tomorrow, we'll talk about this historic Supreme Court ruling. Also, Glenn Beck coming up next. I would love to see you tonight at God and Country. Now, usually I'm on stage running wild or whatever, but we will be there. Come by and say hi to us. We're in the KIDO Talk Radio blue. I don't know why it's blue, but blue's an okay color. It looks really nice. We'll be in the tent listening to the inspirational messages and music and song and in speech, loving our country and loving our Savior. We appreciate you. Listen tonight, fireworks coverage right here at KIDO Talk Radio. Ray Amaya, great job as always. And to everyone, good day, God bless, and keep the faith.